Most people recognize Savannah Guthrie as the confident and composed co-anchor of Today. Every morning she appears on television with a calm smile, interviewing world leaders, discussing major headlines, and connecting with viewers across the country. Her public image reflects professionalism, strength, and warmth. Yet behind that polished presence lies a deeply personal story few people ever imagined. When her elderly mother suddenly vanished in early 2026, a long-buried chapter of Savannah's life unexpectedly resurfaced. What began as a desperate search for answers slowly revealed a hidden part of her past, a secret she had carried quietly for decades. As the investigation unfolded, Savannah was forced to confront old memories, relationships, and choices that shaped who she became, ultimately revealing a more human and vulnerable side of a woman the world thought it already knew. A shocking disappearance. The story took a dramatic turn when Savannah's mother, Nancy Guthrie, mysteriously disappeared from her home in Tucson. The quiet desert neighborhood quickly became the center of an intense investigation. Authorities from the Pima County Sheriff's Department and the Federal Bureau of Investigation began searching the area, interviewing neighbors, and examining every possible clue. The situation was frightening for the Guthrie family because Nancy was elderly and relied on medication for her heart condition. With each passing day, the urgency of the search grew stronger. Savannah and her siblings, Annie and Cameron, gathered near their mother's home to coordinate with investigators and volunteers. What started as concern soon turned into deep anxiety as the days passed with few answers. The disappearance shocked everyone who knew Nancy, a woman described by friends as strong, devoted, and deeply protective of her children. For Savannah, the crisis quickly became both a family tragedy and a personal test of resilience. The mysterious phone call. During the 10th day of the search, an unexpected phone call changed everything. Savannah stepped outside to answer what she assumed was an update from investigators. Instead, she heard the voice of someone from a distant chapter of her life. The caller identified herself as Elena Ramirez, a name Savannah had not spoken publicly for decades. The conversation immediately unsettled her because Elena seemed to know details about Savannah's past that almost no one else remembered. According to people close to the family, Elena warned that Nancy's disappearance might not be random. She suggested that events from long ago could somehow be connected to what was happening now. The call left Savannah shaken and deeply emotional. For the first time during the investigation, she appeared visibly unsettled in front of her family. What Elena hinted at forced Savannah to confront a hidden story she had kept buried for most of her adult life. A childhood shaped by expectations. To understand Savannah's secret, it helps to look at the environment in which she grew up. After her father passed away during her teenage years, Nancy Guthrie became the central figure holding the family together. She raised Savannah and her siblings with strong values, discipline, and a belief that strength meant never showing weakness. Nancy encouraged her children to work hard, pursue education, and face challenges with determination. Savannah responded by becoming an exceptional student who excelled academically and socially. Yet the pressure to always meet high expectations created its own emotional struggles. Savannah felt a constant need to live up to her mother's hopes. She admired Nancy deeply, but also feared disappointing her. That combination of love and pressure shaped many of Savannah's decisions as she grew older. While she appeared confident and successful on the outside, she privately struggled with questions about identity and independence. Meeting Elena Ramirez. Everything began to change when Savannah met Elena Ramirez during her teenage years in Tucson. Elena was a few years older and known locally as an artist and community organizer who encouraged young people to explore creativity and personal identity. Her open personality and independent spirit made a strong impression on Savannah. who had spent much of her life following strict expectations at home. The two quickly developed a close friendship that later grew into a deeper emotional connection. Elena introduced Savannah to new social circles and discussions about self-expression and activism. These experiences felt exciting and liberating for Savannah, offering a space where she could speak freely without worrying about meeting anyone's expectations. However, because she feared her mother would disapprove, Savannah kept the friendship completely secret. This decision marked the beginning of a hidden side of her life that would continue for many years. The creation of a hidden identity. As Savannah spent more time with Elena and her friends, she began experimenting with a different version of herself. She sometimes used the name Clark, drawn from her middle name, when attending gatherings or creative events around the city. In these moments, she felt free from the pressures associated with being the responsible daughter who always did everything correctly. Through poetry readings, discussions, and small activist meetings, Savannah explored ideas and emotions she had never expressed openly before. The hidden identity gave her a sense of independence, but also created an emotional divide in her life. During the day, she remained the hard-working student preparing for a successful career. At other times, she became someone else entirely, a young woman searching for identity and belonging. Maintaining both roles required careful secrecy, especially as she began pursuing higher education and professional ambitions. Success and distance. As the years passed, Savannah moved forward with her academic and professional goals. She attended university, studied law, and eventually entered the world of journalism. Her dedication and talent helped her rise steadily through local television markets, before eventually joining NBC. With each promotion and achievement, her public reputation grew stronger. At the same time, her visits with Elena became less frequent, but emotionally significant. Their relationship remained meaningful, yet Savannah increasingly felt pressure to focus on her career and public image. The more successful she became, the more complicated it seemed to reveal the secret parts of her past. She feared that honesty might disappoint her family, or damage the carefully built reputation she had worked so hard to establish. As a result, the two sides of her life drifted further apart while still quietly existing. A family confrontation. When Savannah finally told her siblings about Elena after the mysterious phone call, the revelation caused shock and confusion within the family. Annie and Cameron struggled to understand why such an important part of Savannah's life had remained hidden for so long. The conversation quickly became emotional as they asked questions about the relationship and whether it could somehow connect to their mother's disappearance. Savannah explained that her silence came from fear rather than dishonesty. She worried that revealing her secret life might change the way their mother saw her. For Savannah, Nancy's approval had always meant everything. Admitting the truth felt like risking the one relationship she valued most. The siblings spent hours talking, processing the information, and trying to understand how a long-buried story had suddenly resurfaced during such a painful moment. Strength in vulnerability. As the search for Nancy continued, Savannah found herself reflecting on what strength truly meant. For much of her life, she believed strength required perfection, discipline, and emotional control. Those values had guided her career and earned her respect from colleagues and viewers. Yet the crisis revealed another form of strength: vulnerability. Admitting fear, regret, and complicated feelings did not make her weaker. Instead, it allowed the people closest to her to understand her more fully. Savannah began to see that the qualities she had hidden for so long were also part of her humanity. By embracing both her public achievements and her private struggles, she could move forward with greater honesty and resilience. Looking toward the future, the story of Savannah Guthrie's past and her mother's disappearance remains unfinished. Investigators continue searching for answers, while the Guthrie family holds on to hope that Nancy will be found safely. At the same time, Savannah's long-hidden story has reshaped how those around her understand her journey. She is no longer seen only as a composed television anchor, but also as a daughter, sister, and individual who faced difficult choices while growing up. The experience has reminded many people that public figures carry private histories just like anyone else. As the investigation continues, Savannah's focus remains on her family and the search for her mother. Whatever the outcome, the truth that emerged during this crisis has already changed her life, allowing her to finally live without the burden of secrets she carried for so many years.